Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley, and this is going to be a whole series of 3v3 battles. We're playing against some clanmates that look like they're training for some sort of tournament. Anyways, I'm here with two other randoms, and I'm going to be Sparta with Rome and Egypt on my side. We're going to be playing against Seleucids, Epirus, and Macedon, so we're going to be playing a mixed variety of troops on our side. So let's go ahead and just look at the map overhead. Very cool, you don't usually get to do this, but we're looking at this map here, and we've basically divided into these two components here to the south, and then we've kind of isolated the guys to the north, and looks like the opponents here facing me, I'll go and zoom in on that. The Seleucids and Epirus have decided to form sort of a mass army in the center, and we're going to be seeing how that turns out. It looks like these opponents here are going to be sort of coming in towards us. Let's go ahead and turn off the HUD camera and just see how epic this looks. So I really enjoy these types of battles, a lot more actually than the competitive 1v1s. This is way more fun, way more epic, and especially now that I'm going to be looking at this in replay mode, we're just going to see the sheer size and scale that Total War was meant to be played on. So let's go ahead and go through these trees and look at some of the infantry here moving up. So Macedons are going to be forming up. Macedonians, he's going to have some slingers here, and the rest of his forces are going to be moving up against us here. Look at this block right here. A lot of these, I think these are Royal Peltas here. It's got some more guys here, and then skirmishers up front. I think these are Macedonian foot companions. Anyways, they're going to be peeling off some forces to come and face my guys over here. So I'll go ahead and put that on so we can see it a little clearer. My main plan over here was to move up my front to basically this line, and then send out some heavy spears and Spartan reinforcements over on the left to push his elephants into his backs. I know I can get overwhelming numbers there, force him back, and try and curl up the flank. And what we're going to try and do is try and wrap around the flank here and then cruise up and push these guys back. The Roman player here is kind of deciding to do a pretty rushy move right here, and he's just going to be moving in with his legions, and they're going to be sort of moving forward heedlessly. This is a commander that I would say Hannibal would have an easy time toying with, because this Roman player is just going to be kind of moving forward in two lines, so he's maybe trying to almost imitate the triple X axes. He's just got two lines. He's going to be going straight for this army right here, which is kind of salivating at the thought of fighting those Romans straight on. And as you can see me there forming up in the back, I'm trying to send in reinforcements. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map again. So I'm sending in two of my skirmishers here to try and fend off these skirmishers here. Our ally at the same time has taken the fort up there, or the hill up there, but it does mean the Macedonians are now going to converge on these Romans. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. These slingers are going to start shooting at the armored legionnaires. Not going to do very much, and I'm going to try and get a side shot with my own troops here, start hitting his men, so we're going to do some initial damage here. Cataphracts are going to start charging forward. Let's go ahead and take this off. Very cool to see these guys move up, and you can just see the stones coming over, nailing these guys here, but the main attack is going to be coming in, and I'm wary of those cataphracts, so I'm going to move more guys into the vicinity, start targeting his cataphracts. And then over here, I've lined my guys up in the woods. I'm waiting for his approach here. I know he has troops that are hidden. The main assault is going to come down to this fight here, and look at the Romans. They're blobbed up way too much. This is definitely not the way you should fight as Rome. Maybe historically they could fight in this kind of a meat grinder fashion, but this is not the way you want to do it, especially when there's so many nearby forces that you can envelop. But take a look at this, just a couple of them dying due to the missiles, but not the rest. Anyways, he's going to be moving right up into this Macedonian spear wall, so definitely not what you want to do. They get a nice volley of Pilla off, but then these Macedonians are going to form up and drop their spears right there into the midst of these Romans. So it's going to be a desperate fight, and they are in and amongst the lines of the spears, so it's very cool. He's going to charge in his general into the spears, maybe not the best move, and take a look at this. You're going to have some elephants now starting to trample into these legionnaires, cataphracts engaging as well, so that's going to be very deadly. This whole fight, he's just sending his guys straight into the spears, and meanwhile, take a look at this. The footmen are just told to go around, and it's going to be a classic hammer and anvil, so he's even got some forces coming in the back. Yeah, it looks like the Roman player is going to get slaughtered. Meanwhile, I'm trying to reposition my men to help him out, but you have two armies collapsing on this one guy. I'm pushing up on this flank here, trying to force these guys back. I've decided I'm going to try and curl up this flank and try and support this side as much as possible. Now over here you can see something that's going on is our Egyptian player has come off the hill, and he does have some Ptolemaic cav that he's saving for the later part of the battle. He's going to start engaging with the Macedonian, which is smart. He's trying to keep the Macedonian from enveloping us too much. Anyways, I'm going to move my lines forward here, and let's go ahead and go into spectator mode again, or at least get rid of the HUD. Looks like we're going to engage right here. I drop my pikes right into these guys. See, these foot companions are going to start losing, but at the same time, our Roman allies are all running away. They have elephants amongst them, whereas my guys here are going to hold them off, and I have my peltas, you'll notice, over here, are basically going to be shooting right over the heads of my guys into his elephants, into these guys, so I'm going to be trying to pick off his men. I even have troops here. This is how you want to use these guys. Pin forces here, and then have these guys throw right over your men. Oh, looks like they're targeting another band way down here, so that's very good, getting a side shot on these guys, absolutely destroying them. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm targeting down the line, and I'll go ahead and pop this out so you can see what's going on. I'm continuing to push here. These guys are engaging over here, and right down the center, some cavalry are going to try and sneak through my pikes. I'm able to grab them. Looks like over here my Royal Spartans are going to be engaging with these footmen. So the thorax swordsmen, so that's going to be very good for my Spartans. They do pretty well, but they're going to start to get overwhelmed by basically the remainder of this army that's cleaning up the Roman forces. So I'm going to continue to sweep up on this side, and this is still a mess. I have some Spartans down here. They're going to be holding off these elephant units. Very, very strong Spartan troops. The remainder of the Romans are over here. But let's go ahead and take a look at this battle over here, what's happened. Looks like the Egyptians have gotten into quite a bit of a mess down here. They're advancing forward. Looks like they're doing decently. They've gotten a bit of the flank, so it looks like they'll be doing relatively well there. Over in the back, you even have more Egyptians coming down, but you do have Macedonian cavalry chasing down some of the skirmishers. This is when he's pulled out Ptolemaic cav, and he has some skirmisher cav, so a bit of a mess back here. Let's get back to this battle over here. And, oh, look at my envelopment here. So I'm going to crush this, but the center, where the Romans needlessly charge forward, is going to be just getting decimated. Let's go ahead and take a look right here. So I'm telling my skirmishers to basically pick off the sides of his pikemen. I don't want to engage them head on. I know I could win, but I'm just going to be doing what I can to outmaneuver them and get around the flanks and even attack them with these skirmishers. Let's go ahead and get a zoomed in view of that. Gonna just start throwing all my spears into the flanks of these guys. So they're fixated by this pike wall here. At the same time, they have spears coming in from the side, nailing some of these guys, and the fact that I'm shooting from that side is going to be very good. It's going to force these guys to fall back. As I do, I'm just going to keep sending in more pikes, hit them in the back with my spears. Excellent, excellent. These guys are going to move in and basically just come in here and swarm these guys. Royal Spartans coming in here. So it looks like I'm cleaning up the battle there. Over here, I finish off these troops, but the mass of Seleucids and Epirus forces have crushed the Romans. So I'm going to try and reform here, have my pikes try and fend off whatever armies here. And you can see these Spartans are still holding out, doing very, very well amidst the elephant corpses and all that. A very, very epic hold by my Spartan guys here. So they're going to be holding to the last there while I try to reform, and I basically come and I crush these remaining Epirotes right here. They do have some of their spears down, but they're going to be short spears, and I'm going to make mincemeat, short work of these guys. Spartans are going to be very good in close quarters combat, as you guys know. So I'm going to be finishing that up, but at the same time, I have to reform my line, so that's what I'm going to start doing. Over here, we have some of his forces pinned. I am getting, however, attacked in the back, partly so my pike wall is getting broken up, but I do have more guys here who are going to face against these troops, so I'm going to reinforce them. So I'm going to be reforming my line, doing pretty well. Over here we even have the Egyptians have been able to turn the tide of the battle, and some of these guys, foot companions, are still holding. I think this may be a replay glitch. I'm guessing these guys are dead, that's why they're not moving. Anyways, we're going to start reforming. Oh, never mind. Looks like he just forgot about them. So Egypt is going to be cleaning house here. I'm going to be reforming my guys. I finished off the Epirote forces here, and now we're going to be moving through. Gonna try and help reinforce this flank here, but I do have a problem. The Azet Knights are still alive, still kicking, and my skirmishers here, are doing pretty well, getting in shots on the flank, but the Azet Knights that are coming on the side are going to cause a problem for us. These guys are out of ammo, so I'm going to tell them to charge through the side. Spartans are still holding their own, but this is going to be a problem right here. The Azet Knights forming up right behind me. These are going to be heavily armored guys, as you can see here, and they have a prime position looking at the back of my troops. I'm starting to reform my men, but yeah, this could be a perfect hammer and anvil strike. Over here, he has swarmed through my guys here with the reinforcement of some cataphracts, and these guys are penned up, and a strike from the back will be very, very bad. So that's why I'm moving in spears here, and he's going to go after these troops here, so I'm going to try and reform, try and salvage the situation as that knights are charging after me. Pikes here are starting to take some hits. They're going to be told to start moving up and attack those royal peltas, but at the same time, my enemy does send these guys charging right through the back of my pikes, absolutely destroys them. Pikemen are not all dead. They're going to start getting up, but still that just decimated my formation. I'm going to start trying to engage with these forces here, reform my line, and yeah, it looks like we're going to be moving our troops forward. My guys here, Spartans, have engaged for a while. I'm going to tell them to disengage and pull right back through to these forces here. I'm going to decide to pull out my weary guys and charge through with my own men here. Looks like they're running, wow, looks like they're running right through. Not sure what's happening there. I think we're having a bit of a replay glitch at the moment. Nonetheless, it's pretty epic. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Looks like the cavalry over here are going to be caught a bit unawares. Going to move my pikes and try and catch the tips of them right here. I start poking and prodding at them. They're not properly engaging, and it looks like we're getting hit by some spears in the side. But look at these pikes trying to catch up with these horses. And yeah, there's no way if they turn and fight me that they could win. So a whole host of spears is going to knock these guys out. You can see some horses starting to collapse. Tell my guys to move forward and just engage with these guys. Bloodied horses are falling all over the place. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on here. I'm trying to reform my line here. And looks like my guys are just getting caught off guards, charged by these guys here. My Royal Spartans are going to try and finish them off. Over here you do have another engagement with Spartans broken up formation fighting against these guys. It looks like I'm going to try and reform my spears here and now turn them around and tell them to start engaging. We do however have more of these guys charging forward, but they're going to go right into my spears right here, so that's going to be enough to hold them back. Periodically pikemen are pretty strong, relatively cheap, and so they can take these spearmen pretty well, especially from a frontal attack like that. So now we're going to have the Egyptians coming to my defense, going to have a nice counter charge against these troops here. Very, very epic, to say the least. Some skirmishers back here are pretty much out of ammo, so I'm just keeping them out of the fight for now. I'm going to keep reforming my troops. Looks like we've pretty much won the day. The Egyptians are going to come back to save us. These guys are cheering, and yeah, it looks like that's going to be basically the end of the battle, and we've essentially killed, destroyed, or eliminated the rest of the forces. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, we're going to have another set of these. These are very, very epic battles, so I'm happy we can zoom and enjoy some of the fighting. And yeah, let's go ahead and end the replay, and yeah, I'll get on to the next one. See you guys next time.